When a woman greets you in a certain way, she may already be signaling attraction towards you as an older, attractive presence, even though it looks like nothing more than a casual hello. On the surface, it feels ordinary, but the energy behind it is different. Her tone shifts slightly, her pace slows down, and there's a kind of softness and intention in how she speaks, as if the words are shaped just for that moment. You respond politely, not realizing much has happened, but she is not simply greeting a person. She is responding to a feeling. Most men miss this completely because they expect attraction to sound obvious. In reality, women often communicate interest through subtle cues rather than direct compliments. It's about presence, not words. And in that quiet exchange, perception forms before awareness catches up. Thoughtful. One of the earliest signs is the way she holds eye contact just a moment longer than expected before she speaks. It's subtle, often only a fraction of a second, but it carries meaning. In that brief pause, she is not checking politeness or social etiquette. She is reading presence. That quiet stare is like an unspoken question, almost asking if you are aware of the effect you have in the moment. Many men miss it entirely. Some look away too quickly, trying not to make it awkward, while others overcompensate and stare too intensely. Both reactions break the natural flow. The stronger response is simple calmness. Hold her gaze briefly, stay relaxed, and do not rush to prove anything. No smirk, no performance, just stillness. In that grounded reaction, communicate something powerful. You are present, aware, and not easily shaken by being observed. Another sign appears in her voice when she responds to you. You might ask something simple, like how her day is going, and the answer comes back with a noticeable change in tone. It becomes softer, slightly lower, and more relaxed, almost as if her whole speaking style adjusts without effort. This is not nervousness or coincidence. It is a subtle shift that often happens when attraction is present. Research on nonverbal communication has shown that people, especially women, tend to unconsciously modify their vocal tone when they feel drawn to someone. The effect is not about words, but about delivery. A softer voice creates a sense of closeness and emotional ease. It invites connection without needing direct expression. This is not small talk or politeness. It is a natural alignment where feminine expression subtly adapts to the presence it feels comfortable with. A third sign is the difference in how she smiles at you compared to others. There is a clear distinction between a polite smile and a genuine one. A polite smile is controlled, often tight around the lips, and used in routine social moments, like passing conversations or awkward situations. It is more about manners than emotion. But when a woman is genuinely enjoying your presence, her entire face changes. Her eyes brighten, her cheeks lift naturally, and even her eyebrows respond. It becomes a full facial expression rather than a simple gesture. Psychologists refer to this as a Duchenne smile, which reflects real emotional engagement rather than social obligation. Many men misinterpret surface-level smiles as interest, not realizing the deeper difference. A true smile is not just seen, it is felt, because it reflects a moment of authentic emotional response rather than polite performance. A fourth subtle sign is when she starts using your name soon after learning it. You might introduce yourself casually, expecting nothing special to come from it, but within moments, she repeats it back in conversation. It might sound like a small detail, but it carries psychological weight. Using someone's name early creates familiarity and strengthens connection instantly. When she says your name naturally, it is not just etiquette. It is often a form of emotional anchoring. It brings your presence into sharper focus and makes the interaction feel more personal. In many cases, this can be a way of testing how you respond emotionally, or simply deepening the sense of engagement in the moment. It adds importance to the exchange as if she is subtly signaling that this conversation is not meant to be forgotten quickly. Sign 5 shows up in a very subtle but telling way. She slips a compliment into what feels like an ordinary greeting. You walk into the space. Nothing dramatic, no attention drawn to you, just your normal presence. Before you even fully settle into the moment, she says something like, "Wow, you look really sharp today," or "Okay, someone's dressed up nicely." Dressed up? On the surface, it blends into casual conversation, but underneath, it carries intent. This isn't random politeness. It's appreciation being delivered early, before any real interaction has even started. Women tend to be selective with how they give compliments, especially toward men they find appealing. When admiration appears inside a greeting like that, it often means she's checking how you handle being noticed, how you respond to positive attention without needing to chase it or react strongly. Sign 6 is even more physical, and often happens without either person realizing it. As she walks toward you, there's a brief moment where she subtly adjusts herself. It might be her hand brushing through her hair, a slight straightening of her jacket, a small lift of her chin, or her shoulders naturally pulling back into better posture. It doesn't look staged or obvious, and that's exactly why it matters. It's not nervous movement or random fidgeting. It's preparation. The timing is what gives it meaning. These adjustments happen right before she reaches you, not after. It's as if her presence is quietly syncing with the moment she's entering. This isn't about insecurity. It's about presentation. Even at a subconscious level, there is awareness that she is stepping into your space, and her body naturally aligns itself for that interaction. Sign 7 is when she stretches the moment beyond what is necessary. It might start with something as simple as, "Hey," but instead of continuing on her way, she stays. There's a pause, an added comment, a question that doesn't strictly need to be asked. What should have been a passing interaction turns into a longer exchange without either person forcing it. That extension of time matters more than the words themselves. It creates shared presence, a moment that doesn't have to exist, but is allowed to continue anyway. People don't usually prolong conversations they have no interest in. When a woman does this, it often reflects comfort with your presence and a willingness to stay within that interaction a little longer than required, letting the moment naturally expand instead of closing it immediately. A final bonus sign is when her greeting starts to sound like yours. The tone, rhythm, or energy of her hello feels strangely aligned with how you speak. This isn't conscious copying or acting. It's something more automatic. Humans naturally mirror people they are engaged with, often without realizing it. When she reflects your pace or vocal energy, it shows she is tuned into the interaction more than just superficially. This mirroring is not about strategy or performance. It's about subconscious alignment that happens when someone is actively present with you. In that moment, her response is no longer separate from yours. It begins to match it, almost like both people are briefly moving in the same emotional rhythm.